How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Can Do Can, and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. Before we get into this though, I do want to say thank you guys so much for getting us up to 1K. That's been like a lifelong dream of mine as long as the many years I've been on YouTube, to get to 1K on any of my channels, and we made it on this one. So that's because of y'all guys. We made it. So I do want to do some Welkins giveaways, but I can't use Coda Shop. It won't work for me. I tried it with a friend. I've tried it with a couple of you guys' accounts like on the channel, and it doesn't work for me. So sorry, that was probably very confusing. So yeah, we'll probably have to do some signing in stuff and putting some Welkins on some accounts. Obviously that's a little less secure. I completely understand. If that's something that you're not into, I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't be into it. But for those of you who are willing to trust me and give it a shot, you know, we can connect on like Discord or something, and I can put those on there. But that's the only way I could do it. I can't use Coda Shop. It doesn't work for me. If any of you know how to make it work, leave it in the comments, because I do want to get that out for you guys, those Welkins. I can't use Coda Shop. It won't do the things for me, man. So yeah, appreciate y'all. But yeah, this video right here, what we're gonna do is, I know there's a lot of new players who joined around Fontaine, a little bit before Fontaine, and there's a lot of confusion, you know, there's just a lot of confusion. Genshin is a very confusing game. It takes a while before you're able to properly vet characters and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and make based on my personal opinion, who you should build, some whys, some who you shouldn't build, who you should stay away from, and why. We're just gonna do a little bit of something like that. This is gonna be for 4 stars to kind of keep it a little close to like free to play, but in the second half we are gonna do the 5 stars. So this is just 4 stars. So without further ado, let's get into it. A lot of you have probably already seen Hydro Traveler, waste of mats. Do not build them, they are trash. There's no requirement, like we don't need a Hydro main DPS that doesn't deal damage. Like that's not like a position that we're looking for in Genshin. You will never need a non-damage dealing Hydro main DPS. Just use anyone else. Xingqiu, full EM Barbara, like use anyone else. Like get more than just like, we don't need someone who solely applies Hydro and like that's it. But if you're running Dendro comps, you gotta build Dendro MC unless you're gonna get Kaeya. And then again, like if these are your only 2 Dendro units, you might as well build both of them, you know. I'll put them in can if you want, because you can just build Kaeya. I guess we'll put, this is Hydro MC at the bottom, this is Dendro MC at the top. Lisa, if you are free to play, I would honestly put Lisa in can if you want. Lisa has on-field Electro, and because of Dendro, you can actually pair these 2 characters together, Dendro MC and Lisa, and you can run aggravate spread teams. And she's not awful. She's not awful. Now, will it clear the abyss? I can't tell you. I can't speak to that. But this is a solid team comp if you're like really into overworld exploration and you're not really like trying to mess with the abyss, even if you kind of are a little bit. This is a good starting point, a good like Electro main DPS character. Amber, honestly, this is just a waste of mats. Outside of very niche setups, like for characters who can't apply their own pyro to swirl with Anemo, like Hu Tao teams, like Hu Tao Vape VV vape teams. Outside of that, there's no real use for Amber. There's no practical use for like an off-field like pyro that doesn't deal good damage. Like, it's not really like a, and it's barely off-field. Her burst only lasts a couple of seconds. Like, it's not very useful, to be honest. Noelle, I would put Noelle in can build if you want to build her. She's very good. She's a healer, shielder, DPS, and with Farina, she's got like a really good synergy on her. You don't have to build her, but really good character. Barbara, if you don't have Bennett, like if you're not doing the Abyss, then just build Bennett. If you are doing the Abyss and Bennett is already built and you need a second healer and this is all you have, then you can build Barbara. But just know she's not going to do damage. She's not like offering anything else outside of her heal, and her heal is very rough. It's not great. Her heal is extremely rough. For free to plays, you must build Sucrose. And it's not hard. You don't have to like actually build Sucrose. Literally go into the VV domain, the viridescent domain, and just grab Sucrose full EM pieces. Just put your full EM pieces. It's better if they have energy recharge substats, but if not, it doesn't matter. Just full EM pieces and give her a Favonius book. Any book with ER will also do. And you got a grouper and an animo resistant shredder, like, and she's decent. She gives an insane EM buff. To this day, I don't think there's another 4-star with an EM buff that crazy, or any buff in the game that crazy. So that's a good character to build. Fischl must build. Very good off-field electro damage dealer. She's just gotten stronger as Genshin has gone on. She is, dare I say, broken. Like, I know everyone says that in the Genshin community, but she's genuinely busted. You put on her attack or like depending on the team. If you're running Dendro, it's EM, electro damage, crit, and she just goes burr. Like Oz just goes crazy. Your team struggling to get energy, put Fischl on the team. Your team doesn't have energy problems anymore. Like it's literally, she's that goated. All right, so I almost put Mona in there. Ooh man. Kaeya, I'm biased. I don't like Kaeya. I've never had to build, like, I was a new player once and I've gone my entire Genshin life without ever having to build Kaeya. But you can build Kaeya. I'm not gonna be too biased. No, well, is okay. Like, you can build Kaeya, but I don't think you need to. Like, the things that he offers, I don't feel like it's necessary. If you're trying to run like a free-to-play freeze team, just run like Rosaria, you know, like just run, I mean, Rosaria, Chongyun, honestly. I mean, if you're trying to run like freeze is a very like premium team. It's just a very premium like reaction. I honestly wouldn't even like. I don't like Kaeya. I don't like him. I don't like what he does. I don't like how he feels to play. I just don't like the character. Razer, you can build Razer, but I wouldn't recommend building him as a DPS. I would say keep all of Razer's talents at level 1. Farm an elemental mastery based full EM set for Razer and make him an on-field hyper bloom trigger with like Xingqiu and like Dendro MC. I would not say build Razer as a DPS. That's just, he's slow, he's trash, he's just not fun. Not fun. But if you build him full EM, he will give you the damage numbers. So that's good right there. Bennett must build. Absolutely broken. Best attack buff in the game. Like, plus he's a healer. it's just nasty. He's just nasty. He's built ER, HP, healing bonus, and you could put, you don't gotta, but I mean, you could put like 2-piece ER, 2-piece ER, 2-piece ER, 2-piece HP. But I have the attack bonus 4-piece set on him to give my team an extra attack bonus on top of his. It's nasty. Bennett must build. Ninguang, don't build Ninguang. Like, yeah, if you look up like Ninguang videos, you'll find heathens who have like crazy Ningguangs built, but like, don't build Ninguang. Don't do that. You'll never need a Geo character like, and then like Geo is in such a sorry state anyways. You don't even want to go down that rabbit hole of trying to like invest in Geo characters. You will never need Ninguang, especially if you built Barbara, or not Barbara. If you built Noelle, you'll never need Ninguang. Like, there's never a time where you're gonna be like, oh, I wish I had Ninguang. Like, you never need Ninguang. Baidou, you can build Baidou. She's got a shield for her burst. She's decent in taser teams. I've never had to build her. I don't think you should. That's just my personal opinions. I'll put her in air. No, I'll put Razer in air. Yeah, there we go. I like that better. I wouldn't build her personally. I feel like there's better options. I mean, you have Fischl, you have Lisa. I feel like you don't need to build Baidou personally. Xiangling must build. For free to plays, she's like the only like pyro off-field DPS that you have. She's very strong, very potent. Throughout the test of time, she has not like waned in strength. Like, she is still the GOAT. Like, I'm not gonna turn into Zay Jeff and tell you that like, oh, she's better than Hu Tao, she's better than Diluc, oh, she's better than Yoimiya, she's just the holy grail. Like, I'm not gonna like Zay Jeff on you, but like, she is good. You should build her, especially if you're free to play. She is an excellent off-field damage dealer. Chongyun, I will put Chongyun in because like, you can build him. I wouldn't do it. If you're going for freeze specifically, then you can build Chongyun. But again, freeze is a very premium team, and it's gonna feel not so great. Like, the damage dealers are not so great. You'd have to have very high investment on all of your characters in a free-to-play freeze team. It's just not too great, to be honest with you. It's just not it for free-to-plays. Xingqiu, absolutely build. When it comes to free-to-play, he is like your only real option for like supreme off-field hydro application plus damage dealing plus damage mitigation plus hydro res shred. Like, it's just nasty. He's just nasty. Again, I don't mean to Zay Jeff on you guys, but he's good. Like, he is truly like in a class of his own when it comes to like hydro application, even amongst paid players. Like, on my teams, I have Yelan, I have Kokomi, I have Farina. I still use Xingqiu. Like, Xingqiu still has a permanent slot on my teams. Like, good character, great character, build him. Diona. Now, this is what I would say. If you have Diona and Barbara, build Diona. If it's obviously, you should build Bennett already. If you need a second healer, Diona better than Barbara. This isn't all organized, by the way, but I am gonna put Diona in front of Barbara just for the visual. Like, F Barbara. Like, she's cute, but she's like, she doesn't offer anything besides the heal. I would say Diona above Barbara. Xinyan, stop it. I like the way Xinyan's kit works. I like the way Xinyan's kit looks, but Xinyan is trash. She is a physical damage support character who's pyro, that doesn't synergize with physical damage at all. Physical damage is electro and cryo. She just comes in and she's pyro for what reason? Like, just trash, just garbage. Don't even think about it. Rosaria, you can build Rosaria if you want. She is very good. She gives you a crit damage, or not crit damage, she gives you a crit rate bonus based on her own crit rate. So if you got an extra slot on your team, say you're running like Fischl, Xingqiu, Bennett, you got an extra slot on your team, your teammates are kind of lacking the crit rate, Rosaria will give you the crit rate. Like, it's pretty good. I used to run Rosaria for the crit rate before I built my characters properly, so pretty good character. Yanfei, you can build Yanfei, but it is a yikes, because when she is an on-field damage dealer, meaning you activate like Xingqiu for the rain swords for the hydro application, and Yanfei will vaporize her hits to do extra Yanfei damage. The problem is Yanfei has to stand still when she's doing it, and I used to be a Yanfei main. My Yanfei is level 90. She's got like level 999 on all her talents. Like, I used to be a Yanfei main, and I was getting my ass kicked in the abyss because she has to stand still. It's so awful. Her charge attacks are where the big damage vaporizes come from. And the issue is when you charge attack, you can be interrupted. Your charge attack won't come out. You have to try it again. You have to dodge a lot. And your charge attacks are expensive, so then you end up just running out of stamina, just standing still, walking, and just getting your ass beat. It's terrible. It's actually terrible. You have to run Yanfei with a shielder. I don't give a damn who's coping in the comments. If you, I run Yanfei without a shielder all the time. No, you don't. You're a liar. You're a capaholic. Your favorite cereal is Cap and Crunch. Like, get out of here. Yanfei is good, but the downsides of playing Yanfei are greater. It's just that simple. What is this girl's name, bro? How I forget her name? That's crazy. Bro, what is this girl name, bro? Sayu. I'd put her in. I wouldn't say she's bad, but I wouldn't say she's great. She is Animo, so that's going for her. She's a healer. I believe she also has a bit of like off-field damage, but I can't really recommend her over the other options. If you have Diona, I mean, I wouldn't really put her up there with Diona and like Baidou and Yanfei. I wouldn't put her up there, but I wouldn't say she's like, don't build. Like, if you must, if you do not have Diona, if you do not have Barbara, you do not have Bennett, I would say you can build Sayu, and you can get a VV character plus a healing character, which is, Genshin is all about condensing roles, like condensing as many roles into one character as possible. That's the optimal like team building in Genshin. You can build Sayu if you must. Kujo Sara, if you don't have C6 Kujo Sara and you don't have Raiden, that's a big you should not be building Kujo Sara. That is the worst thing you can do for yourself. That is a complete waste of mats, because without Raiden or without an electro character to buff, Kujo Sara does not do anything. Without C6, Kujo Sara does not do anything. Do not build this character if you do not have C6 and you do not have an electro carry that you are buffing. This character is solely to buff electro carry characters. That is it. That is all. Aloy, a lot of you probably don't have Aloy. Don't build Aloy. If you do have her, don't build Aloy. Thoma gets an okay? The reason being, Thoma is a burst DPS character, or a burst pyro enabler, I should say. He's not a DPS. During his pyro enabling burst, he gives you a shield, which is nice, and he spreads pyro off field. The problem with Thoma is that it's a burst, okay? His burst is extremely expensive, meaning you have to run a ER sand, ER weapon, yada yada. When you run ER stats for your main stat, that means that your total damage goes down. Because if you were able to run Thoma EM, his Burgeons would do big boy damage. But you can't do that because Thoma doesn't get his burst back. So you need to run EM, which is a damage loss, which I can't in good faith recommend a character that niche, that difficult to use, and that like restricted on how you can build him. I can't recommend him. He's an If you must run Thoma Burgeon, you can, this is your Burgeon trigger free to play. Or you'll have to pull, but this is your Burgeon trigger free to play. So Gorou, same as Kujo Sara. If you do not have a Geo carry character like Ito, like Noelle, like the soon to be released Navia, and she doesn't even work with Gorou as far as I know. If you do not have a Geo carry character, do not build Gorou. That is a complete waste of mats. That is silly. That is absolutely silly. He buffs Geo damage, like, and he does not deal Geo damage. He buffs it. That is it. That is all. If you don't have C6, do not build him. If you do not have a Geo carry character, do not build Gorou. Yunjin. Yunjin is very niche for a lot of free-to-play players. I don't believe that you would have a good time running Yunjin. There are teams you can build with Yunjin, but it's very niche, and she offers a Geo-related attack buff on your normal attacks, I think. It's like, it's okay. But like, I feel like as a free-to-play or as a new player, there are better things at the top that you should be working on. Like, that are longer lasting, like directly beneficial to your account, to your teams, to your abyss. Like, these are just better to work on over somebody like Yunjin, who offers like a very niche buff for a very bad element. Like, Geo is not in a great spot. There are times you can use a Geo character, like if you're fighting the Geo Wolf, it would be nice to have a character who can handle it, but like, why build a Yunjin for one instance when you can just use your Noelle that you have built? It's, I don't recommend building Yunjin. Kuki Shinobu, absolute must build. Don't listen to anyone else. Listen to me. Dendro is broken. It is absolutely busted. It is extremely free-to-play friendly. It is multi-target. Do not listen to anyone else on this subject matter. It is broken, and it is free damage. It is free LO, free value. All you need to do is pair. You can pair Xingqiu, Dendro MC, and Shinobu. You build her full EM. You give her an EM weapon. You give her 3 EM, her EM sand, EM goblet, EM circlet. She will literally kill everything in the game. She will carry you through the abyss. She will carry you through the open world. She will carry you through boss fights. It's literally that broken, and it's not burst reliant. You press E once and everyone dies. I do not listen to anyone on the Genshin community has a bad problem with not accepting the fact that Dendro is busted and Hyper Bloom is completely broken. It is completely broken. The scaling is absurd. Like, it's almost like Hu Tao levels of damage for free to play players. Hu Tao in AoE. Like, it doesn't get better than that. Like, do not listen to anyone else. Build Kuki. You don't even have to level her talents. All her talents level 1. Just level herself to 90 and level her artifacts, her full EM, triple EM artifacts, EM weapon. Kuki will carry you on everything. I'm not listening to no hate for Kuki. I will literally ban you. What's this man's name, bro? I have him built. I keep wanting to call this man Kazuha, bro. What is this man's name? Bro, I had to Google it, bro. Heizou, bro. Heizou, he gets an eh. It's like this. Heizou is in a role where he is like the active character on a team, right? And he's a catalyst user, so he uses the same weapon as Sucrose, and he does less than Sucrose for a team. So it's like yeah, his own personal damage can be higher, but why run Heizou if he's literally like a worse Sucrose? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you run Heizou, you get no grouping, you get a little bit higher personal Heizou damage, but who cares when like Sucrose is giving you grouping, Animo VV Shred, like the 250 elemental mastery to your whole team. It's just busted. Like, why run Heizou when you could run Sucrose? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. Kaeya, if you do not have a Dendro, it's between Kaeya and Dendro MC. Pick one, build both. They're both useful. Honestly, you don't have to build them. Just slap as much ER on both of them as humanly possible and let someone else do the damage, like Lisa, or make a Hyper Bloom team. Like, you don't actually have to build your Dendro characters if you don't want to, and you can still clear. I used to clear with a level 40 Kaeya with just an obscene amount of energy recharge, and it clears as long as she can get her burst back often, like off cooldown. It clears. So pick one, pick two, ER. Like, that's it. Dori, do not build Dori. Actually, go to waste of mats, bro. Do not build Dori. It's a similar scenario to Thoma, except it's just the worst option when it comes to the usefulness of Electro. As a Hyper Bloom trigger, because she needs so much ER, her Hyper Bloom damage is lower than Kuki, who doesn't need ER at all. She's completely free from the ER curse. The healing is not, I mean, the healing is all right. The energy recharge is not great that you get from this. It's not even like it's just not good. It's just not good. I'm sorry if any of your favorite characters end up at the bottom, by the way, but this is... On this channel, we're all about being like economical and smart with our resources. A lot of this isn't personal opinion, or it isn't like who I like personally. This is simply objectively who offers like the best value for an account in the long term. Because there are characters that I like. I like Yanfei, but I can't put Yanfei in must build when she has problems, you know? I like Kujo Sara, but I'm not going to tell you to build her if you don't have the required pieces to build her. I like Chongyun, but freeze is very premium, and I can't completely recommend building Chongyun, you know, knowing what I know about freeze. Candace is quite odd. I'm going to put her in can build if you want. If you have Xingqiu built, you don't really need anything Candace offers, but though it's gonna be a lot worse than Xingqiu. If you need Hydro application, Candace infuses your active character with Hydro for their normal attacks. You can do that as a replacement for Xingqiu, but I would not recommend it. It is no damage. Like, Candace offers no damage on her own. The damage bonus that the attack bonus, I think it's an attack percent bonus that she gives to your character, does not make up for missing out on Xingqiu damage. It does not make up for it at all. I would say if you are on the struggle bus and you somehow do not have Xingqiu, then you can build Candace, but it's going to be so much worse. So much worse. Layla. I would say you can build Layla if you want. I feel like, especially if you're trying to run freeze, Layla will help you out. She offers a shield on her E. Her shield is extremely sturdy. And with her burst and her shield, she shoots off like cryo stars that will hit opponents and help keep them frozen. I think she's really good for helping out like freeze teams. There are better options, I feel, now with the release of Fontaine, but we haven't gotten there yet. But if you don't have any of the other options, like especially the ones we're going to discuss later, you can build Layla. She's very good for defensive support and a little bit of off-field cryo. Faruzan, literally the same character as Kujo Sara, the same character as Gorou. Do not build Faruzan if you do not have the Wanderer, basically. Like, I think Wanderer or Zhao. She's a hyper carry animo support. If you don't have Wanderer or Zhao, do not build Faruzan. That is a complete waste of mats. You're being silly and goofy and all that other extra stuff. You don't have to, if you like Faruzan, you do not have to build her to play her. Just play her. Don't waste resources and mats on Faruzan. That is goofy and silly. Yao Yao. Yao Yao is a good option if you don't want to build Dendro MC, if you don't want to build Kaeya, you can build Yao Yao, and she gives you a lot for Dendro teams. Off-field Dendro application, which is pretty much unrivaled by like anyone, even including like 5 stars. I think the only 5-star character that rivals her in off-field Dendro application is the Dendro Archon herself, like, and that's it. So if you got Yao Yao, you are in luck. You got a good off-field Dendro character. She condenses the roles of Dendro applicator and healer. And her healing is cracked. It's freaking yoked. So if you got lucky and you got Yao Yao, you are in luck. That is a very strong character to have on your account. Mika. Do not build Mika. That is crazy. All right, I'm gonna put Aloy down there too. She thought she would escape, but do not build Mika. That is silly. That is goofy, and it's just not. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's silly and goofy and silly. Mr. Husbando himself, you can build him. Now he is a 4-star, and his rupture damage is not gonna be good like Nilou. What's this man's name even, bro? I forgot his name, dude. Kaveh. So yeah, you can run Kaveh. You have to run, you know, like a Kaveh Bloom team, or like, I don't know. People often say run him with Nilou, but I didn't notice any significant improvements. I actually noticed that the teams performed worse with Kaveh on the team because he's a 4-star who needs a lot of ER, and he just doesn't synergize well. Like, he's taking a slot from a character that like Nahida or Yao Yao on that team. It's just not worth having Kaveh on there. But if you are running free-to-play Bloom teams, Kaveh can help push your Bloom damage a little bit. It's a little difficult to use a little bit, but he can help push your Dendro Bloom teams. We have Kirara. I would honestly I'd put her in build, like, you can build her if you want. When it comes between our 4 Dendro characters, I would say like Kirara is like in some limbo zone, like right here, because she doesn't offer great off-field, like little to like none off-field, I think, before you get C4. And when C4 is active, I'm pretty sure it's only while you have a shield. So if your shield gets cracked off, you lose your off-field Dendro application. So like, I'd say she's like in a weird limbo zone, depending on what you need her for. If you're running Bloom teams and the Bloom cores are blowing up, she's good because in the last slide, you don't have to run a healer. You can just run Kirara and she'll just completely absorb all of the Dendro core damage. But if you are running like spread aggravate teams, she doesn't help much because she doesn't apply, like she doesn't help keep the Dendro aura on enemies. So in those teams, she's not going to be great. But I think in self-damage Bloom core teams, she's really good. I honestly prefer her over an option like Dendro MC or Kaeya in those teams. Lynette is weird. If there was like a middle section between must build and can if you want for free to plays, I'm gonna put her in at the, just for the sake of this making sense, I'm gonna put her at the top of can if you want, because the thing is, for EM teams, it's usually better to run Sucrose. So like on aggravate, spread, those types of teams, it's usually better to run Sucrose. But for teams that don't care about EM, Sucrose's EM buff is wasted. You can then run a character like Lynette and it swaps your EM buff for an attack buff, which is more useful on those teams that don't care about EM, which, I mean, in that case, and she's free, you literally get a copy of her for free just for playing the game. So like, it's kind of like a no-brainer to build this character, you know? Like, she's here, you got her, she offers a decent buff, and she's an animal character. She's just a strong role like in the game. Her grouping is not the best, but she's able to infuse her burst with an element and then shoot out that element. Like it's pretty good. I'd put her at the top of can if you want. She's close to like must build for an account, but like it's not quite a must build character, but she is extremely good. Like, she is very good. I would recommend building her. Like if you're free to play, you could have one Sucrose and one Lynette, and then you'd have, you know, the ability to switch if like the EM buff is just not being useful at the moment. You can switch to Lynette and you get a cutie who gets stuff done. She gets a little, she actually is useful for teams. Your boy Fremine, I think he, like, Hoyoverse wanted him to be like the missing piece for like free-to-play freeze teams, but I just don't agree. His damage numbers are poor. It's just, it feels clunky. I do like Fremine. I like him a lot. And I just got my first copy of Fremine from this event that's going on right now. I recommend you guys get him as well. But I mean, I guess from a free-to-play, like, if you're trying to run freeze, he can function as a freeze main DPS. Like, don't listen to people who say he's a shatter DPS. He's not a shatter DPS. They literally just gave him a dookie-ass passive that increases shatter damage for the hell of it. He's a freeze and physical. He's either or. He can be both. He's a freeze and physical damage dealer DPS. Obviously he's a 4-star, so he's not going to be the strongest, but like, I think he is supposed to be like your missing link for like your free-to-play freeze main DPS role. But Ayaka spoiled me. She's the GOAT, and she just always has been, always will be. Just I wouldn't recommend doing it, but if you must experience freeze team, then go ahead, I guess. But that's my thoughts on that. Charlotte. Guess where I'm gonna put Charlotte, bro? Take a wild guess. I'll wait. Wrong. Charlotte, bro, I'm about to put her in must build, bro. And I say this because Charlotte is surprisingly good, like surprisingly good at everything that she does. Her hold E applies cryo off field. Furthermore, if you have her C6, her E not only applies cryo, but you get joint cryo attacks, which also apply cryo to enemy. Like, it's just, it's kind of yoked. And then her burst does a disgusting heal. Like, it's completely nasty. It heals your entire team back to full health no matter what they're at. The heal is so fat. It's like 5-star level heals on her burst. It's just so good. And then like her being cryo is really nice. It works with pyro carries, it works with freeze teams. She's really good. And like for 4-star value, if you're lacking a second healer, oh, she gets the job done, bruh. She does need quite a bit of ER though, so she's built full attack, but you just need to focus on having full attack and hella ER substat rolls. If you can't get them, you're gonna need an ER weapon, ER sand, anything you can get. She needs close to like 300 ER. But if you can get close to that, and then you have her like C4 to kind of alleviate some of her energy problems, oh, she's so good, bro. She is your free to play, like, she is your healer. She's so good. Truly. And then Chevy Uplander, I don't really know too much about her. I'm not trying to talk about leaks and whatever. I haven't even looked at her leaks, but I'm not even going to talk about it and get banned. So I'm just going to put her in don't build, because you shouldn't have her. You shouldn't know anything about her anyways, right? So I'm going to leave it like that. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the 4 stars. This video is kind of long. I do apologize, but if you made it through, I appreciate the hell out of you. Leave the word eggnog in the comments if you made it through all the way. We're gonna find out who's a real one and who's not. But yeah, that's those are my thoughts on who you should build and who you shouldn't in Genshin Impact. This is a very rough list. A lot of this stuff I could change my opinion. Again, this is just my opinions on it. I could change my opinions on some of this stuff, but these characters are who I personally have built and not built for the most part. So with the exception of like Chongyun, I think I have him like level 70, but like he's not built, you know. I just I don't like the bad advice, the unhelpful advice that I see online. So I do my best to try to offer like actual realistic advice grounded in some form of reality and not like bizarro world. But yeah, if you guys like the video and appreciate the content that I'm making, shoot, hey, leave a like in the comment, subscribe, all that stuff, because it really helps out. Like, I've been loving responding to you guys in the comments, so hopefully we can keep that going for a good long time. Without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Deuce.